Hi, YouTube.
Hello, YouTube.
Welcome to a thing we haven't done in God knows how long, a deck profile.
Oh, this is before my time.
Yeah, this is way
before my time. Okay.
This is James. What's
Hi.
profiling?
Hi, my name's Jaime. I don't know.
Jaime.
This is Zorga. Tyler, do you want to oversee this or no?
I'm gonna try and persuade Mario.
No, he's gonna try and persuade Mario.
I'll be
All
on
right.
camera.
So, hi YouTube. How are you? This is a Zorga deck profile. Zorga's pretty fun. You like your Grand Blues? This is this deck. So I guess I should do the ride chain first. That's how you start it?
Yeah, that's fine.
You know, before it was grade 3s and shit, but now I guess you just go over the ride chain. So to go over the ride chain, make this look all nice, you look like that. So this is the starter, of course. Nice shiny SP. I don't care anymore. I don't. My wallet's screaming. Grade 1. This is what your grade 1 is. This says act on Vanguard Circle, Soul Blast 1, draw 2 cards, and ditch an order. If you don't ditch an order, you discard 2. You get an order and drop, which you need, or you mill 2, which is also not bad, but ideally you ditch an order because this deck is about orders and Alchemagic, which I'll get to later. The grade 2, this grade 2 says when wrote upon on Vanguard Circle, just add an order back to hand. So just making sure that you have one in hand because you need one in hand and in drop in order to do what you need to do. So not too bad. I'll get into the rearguard skill later because some of these, because this is a ride deck, we don't play some of these in the main deck because they literally have no value. So yeah, overdress. I don't know. I don't know. So this is played in the deck. The grade 1 is not, but I'll get to that later. And then Zorga, of course, this is a good card and it looks nice. $60 right here, just in case anybody was wondering. I'm not trying to flex, but
Nice flex, by the way.
yeah, nice flex. My wallet wants to kill itself along with me. So this this says when you would play an order, you can Alchemagic. So Alchemagic says that you bind an order from drop, and then you pay both costs of both orders, and then you get to proc both at the same time. So usually you're only allowed to play 1 order at a time per turn, but this allows you to play 2, which is nice. And then it has an act, counterblast 1, call something from drop, because this is necromancy kind of deck going on. So, all right, that's the ride deck. Now on to the main deck. This is weird. I don't know why.
Deck profiling?
Yeah, deck profiling is kind of weird. I'm not used to doing it. I'm only used to watching it. So this, so we play more copies of Zorga. Still, you know, it hasn't changed, just in case if anybody was wondering. You just Persona ride this. Persona riding's nice, and yeah, you want that. Next up, for the grade 3s, 2 copies of what the fuck is this thing called? Hydraulic Ram Dragon. So this card's good. It says auto rearguard circle when this unit attacks Vanguard. If you have if your bind zone has an order card, excuse me, I gotta get that right. If I said if your order zone has a bind card,
Yep.
If there's an order in your bind zone, this unit gets 5k, so this becomes an 18k attacker. With Persona Ride or just another 10k boost or something like that, this becomes a magic number. So you want magic numbers in this deck because making your opponent quake is nice. So now on to the orders, which is the main part of this deck. 3 copies of, these names are so edgy, hold on. Grief, Despair, and Rejection. Oh boy. 3 words to describe high school for me. There's some...
Oh my god.
So this is a good order. You want to play this. You pay this with the counterblast. This just says 3 units get 10k. So really nice. Good, basically a free Persona ride if you technically think about it, if you want to give 3 units 10k. But I usually, what I like to do is I like to give, I don't like giving the 10k off of this to the Vanguard. I actually prefer giving this to the rear guards and the boosters. So just so you make bigger numbers and make it harder for your opponent to guard. So that's what I usually do with that. And then we have 2 copies to round out the grade 3s. 2 copies of Cursed Souls, Squirming in Agony. That was what happened to me in high school.
Next video is just
next video is just
high school life.
My depression. So this is paid with 2 Soul Blasts. And it's look at 4 cards from the top of the deck, call 2, and they get you get to call 1 technically. and then the rest go to drop. But if you Alchemagic, you get to call 2, and they both get 5k. So this is really good, but you don't want to see this a lot because decking out's a thing. Anybody who played Grand Blue back in V would know, or G, excuse me, would know, or just Vanguard, right? Not just G, it's just Vanguard, right, Mario?
It wasn't called Premium, it was just called Vanguard.
It was just called Vanguard, that's right. Okay, so decking out is a thing, you don't want to do it. So having this early is good, but it is a little bit problematic sometimes, so I'm thinking of maybe bumping it up to 3, but potentially something that you can do. I see people run 4 of it. I think that's a bit much, so 3 at most I think is safe. So yeah, there's that. That's the grade 3s. Now to the grade 2s. We run, this is a Grand Blue deck, but now we're playing Neo Nectar because why not? What the hell is this thing called? The Inheritance Maiden Hendrina? Sure. So this says, auto, when placed on, when this unit is placed on a rearguard circle, you may discard 3 from the top of your deck. So this is a mill 3, basically. This is not, because it says you do not have to pay this cost. So that's a good thing sometimes because there are times where you call this out at the end of the game and your deck is like 10 cards and you don't want to do that. So this is good for getting your drop filled up with cards you need. There's a lot of calling stuff from drop, so this is good. And then it has an axe skill on rearguard circle. Retire this unit, and until the end of your turn, the next time you would Alchemagic, you don't have to pay the cost of Soul Blast. So for this order and for one more order that's a grade 1, you can basically just Alchemagic for free, which is really nice. So
For free!
For free! Yeah, you like that. We like free. Something that Vanguard is lacking. So next up is the card from the grade 2 from the Ride deck. So the only reason why we run this is because it's a 15k beater. It just says continuous on rearguard circle. If you Alchemagic this turn, it gets 5k. So it's a 15k beater. It doesn't hit a magic number, really. It can just potentially get really big. So it's something that you can definitely run as an option. This is the first thing to get cut, though, if you wanted to make room for anything. So if I wanted another one of these, I would cut one of these and bring this down to a 2 of. And you do technically still have the one in your Ride deck as well. So you do I always forget that I can still technically play the copy that is in my Ride deck, just because it's still in drop technically, but I like to separate it. So, and then we play 2 of this. Now this is this one. What is this called again? I forget the names. Ghost Chase. So Ghost Chase. I actually need to read this because I don't remember off the top of my head. So this is choose one of your units and it gets 5k until the end of that battle. Choose one of your rear guards not being attacked and return it to your hand. So the reason why that this is played, this is a blitz order, by the way, so this doesn't count towards any Alchemagic. This is played during your opponent's turn. The reason why this is good is because sometimes off of this card, you will see the over trigger, or you will see Zorga himself, or you will see a PG. So if you have to call it, you can, and then you can literally just do this and then put it back to hand. So you can put a Persona Ride back into your hand. You can put the Persona Ride back. You can put the 50k shield back, or you can put the PG back. So that's why it's good, and it gives you a 5k boost. The lack of 10k shields really hurts in this format, so anything that gives your Vanguard a little bit more extra power during battles in your opponent's turn is still really good. So there is that. That's the grade 2s. Moving on to the grade 1s. Obviously, we run 4 copies of the PGs. Not thinking is nice. These are good, and these are really good now because you can if these are now the PGs that say if you have 2 or less cards, you don't have to discard for it, which is super nice. So don't really have much else to say about that one. Next, for the grade 1s, I run 4 copies of, what the hell is this thing called? Dark Pilgrimage, which is a grade 1 that's very simple. When it boosts, it gets 2k. That's it. The reason why that this is good is because, God forbid, you can't Alchemagic. That's still a magic number right there, this column. When you swing with that, that is still a magic number at 28. So that is why you run that. And then combine that with the Persona Ride, and then with this grade 3 order, it could be 38, 48, put a trigger on it is 58. So it only gets bigger, so it's just good. So, yeah, you like that card. You like to see that. So, I know not a lot of people like this. And when the new grade 1 comes out, it's potentially going to get cut down to a 3 of, in my opinion. So, we'll see. Rounding out the orders is 3 copies of the grade 1 order. What is this called? Spiritual Body Condensation. This is another order that you want to see early in the game, but is also good for late game, just in case if you don't have a counterblast or something like that to pay for Zorga's revival skill. So this says you pay this with a Soul Blast, but if you combine this with the grade 2, you don't even have to pay the Soul Blast. Choose a card with a grade equal to or less than your Vanguard from your drop, call it to rear guard, and it gets 5k. So for Vanguard's Zorga, which is when you're going to want to do this, you can literally call whatever the hell you want, and it gets 5k, so it just gets bigger. So you can call things like, let's see. You can literally call this grade 2 and then it becomes a 20k beater, for example, or you can call this dragon again and it becomes a 23k beater if you want. But if you do call the dragon off of the skill, it does lose the magic number. So if you do have to do that, just prioritize on making it as big as humanly possible instead of trying to get the magic number. So there is that, and that's the grade 1's trigger lineup. Trigger lineup is very simple. For 8 crit. 1 draw. Because I can. Running. Yes, 1 draw, Mario. You don't want. I am in the firm mindset. You don't want draws in this deck because that means decking out faster. So between Persona Ride, drawing you cards every time you Persona Ride, and the amount of times things say mill, you don't want to run a lot of draws. I run 1 because it's hollowed and it's pretty, and I don't care. There is actually a legitimate reason. The thing that I hear a lot about OverDress is that people look at their hands and then they're like, I don't want to discard anything. Well, if you run these, you have something to discard, especially because everybody's like, sometimes you don't want to draw cards. Because everything says draw a card. So, what? Does Mario not agree with that statement?
No, I've just never heard that from anyone else.
You've never heard that from anybody? You've never heard someone say, I don't want to discard anything?
Not that. I don't want to draw cards.
Well,
I've never heard that.
I mean, it's literally just for this deck, Mario, because you don't need to draw cards. You just don't.
Nice SP crit.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Featuring Mario.
Yeah, and then 2 fronts. Ideally, this would be 3 fronts, but I just don't. I think it's funny. So 2 fronts are nice. You know, there's no multi-attacking, so just making your columns big is good. And then we have 4 copies of Heal right here. Because healing's nice. I'm not in that bandwagon of people who don't run heals. I think if you don't run heals, you're a heretic. So, Audie.
Doing a deck profile.
Yeah, I am doing a deck profile, but you're all here. And then, of course, Overtrigger. Because we like Overtriggers. Not really. I kind of don't. But this one's nice because it's all of these triggers in one. But 100 million power, excuse me, kind of sucks. I don't like this mechanic at all. I'm just gonna be honest. I just don't. But it's a thing. You can non-violent protest and make this your starter if you like. I'm just gonna get that out there. That's Audie's. That's Audie's idea. You can absolutely do that. Why not? Who fucking cares? That's the deck, people.
All right. Any final closing statements?
No. I mean, the deck's good. Like, in all seriousness, I'll stop fucking around now. Like, the deck is actually good. It's obviously no Bastion. It's not Bruce or anything like that. But it can definitely get stuff done. You just kind of have to think a little harder because you need to pay attention to what you're discarding, what's in your drop. If you've played Grand Blue at all in any format, you should be completely fine because this should be very familiar to you. If anything, I'm assuming you're considering a lot of these cards for your Grand Blue premium decks, potentially. So there's a lot of good stuff here. You just need to pay attention to your drop and, you know, don't deck out. That's my best advice. And that's it.
Thank you, James. Make sure to destroy the like button and subscribe, guys. We'll see you in the next tech profile. Peace.
All right.